This photograph is a lie. The woman is real. The gold is real. It's a crown and earrings and thousands of pieces of ancient treasure. And the man who put it on her told the world it once belonged to Helen of Troy. Almost every part of that story was made up. And this week, with a $200 million movie about that exact myth in cinemas, it's worth knowing the truth about the man who claimed he dug it up. His name was Heinrich Schliemann, and he is either the genius who found the city of Troy or the greatest con artist in the history of archaeology. Honestly, he's both. Start with this, because it matters. Schliemann was a liar, not a fibber, a world-class, industrial-grade liar. In his own memoirs, he claimed he once had dinner with the President of the United States. He didn't. He read about the party in a newspaper and wrote himself into it. He published a dramatic eyewitness account of a great fire in San Francisco. He got the month wrong because he wasn't there. This is a man who lied for fun in writing about his own life. Keep that in mind for everything that follows. Now, Schliemann was also rich, seriously rich, from business. And he had one obsession. He believed the Trojan War from Homer's poems was real, and that the city of Troy was a real place you could dig up. There was just one problem with him being the man who found it. He didn't. The man who actually worked out where Troy was buried was an Englishman named Frank Calvert. Calvert owned part of a hill in Turkey called Hisarlik. He'd studied it for years, and he was convinced the lost city was underneath it. And in 1868, he made the mistake of telling Schliemann all of it. Schliemann had the money to dig. Calvert had the answer. They teamed up. And then Schliemann quietly wrote Calvert out of the story and took the whole thing for himself. So the rich amateur starts digging. And here's where it gets painful. Schliemann does not dig carefully. Schliemann attacks that hill like a man tearing the paper off a present. He drives an enormous trench straight down through it. He uses workmen by the hundred. He uses dynamite. And that hill was not one city. It was 9, stacked on top of each other, thousands of years of history layered like a cake. And to get to the bottom as fast as possible, Schliemann blasts straight down through the middle of it. Now think about what that means. The Troy of Homer, the Troy of the war, the wooden horse, all of it was one of the upper layers from around 1200 years before Christ. And Schliemann, in his hurry to find treasure, smashed clean through it on his way down. Let that land. The man who spent a fortune trying to prove the Trojan War really happened, probably destroyed the actual city where it happened. He was standing in it, and he blew a hole in it and kept digging. And then, in 1873, he finds the gold, a hoard of it, a golden crown, jewelry, thousands of pieces, all in one spot. And Schliemann does not hesitate. He announces to the world that he has found the personal treasure of King Priam, the king of Troy from the myths. Priam's gold. The papers go insane. 2 problems. Problem 1, it's the wrong city. The treasure came from one of the deepest, oldest layers, a Troy that existed 1,000 years before King Priam could ever have lived. Schliemann named jewels after a king who wouldn't be born, in the story, for another 10 centuries. It would be like digging up a Roman coin and announcing you'd found the wallet of Napoleon. Problem 2, the story of the discovery was fake. Schliemann said his young wife, Sophia, was there beside him, and that she smuggled the treasure to safety hidden in her shawl. Beautiful image. Completely invented. Sophia wasn't even in the country that day. She was in Athens because her father had just died. Schliemann later admitted he made the whole scene up. Then he takes the gold, drapes it on Sophia, the crown, the earrings, all of it, and photographs her and calls it the Jewels of Helen, Helen of Troy, the face that launched 1,000 ships, now modeled by a Greek teenager in a studio. Oh, and the treasure wasn't his to keep. It was found in the Ottoman Empire, and he smuggled it out of the country illegally. He got caught, in part, because Sophia was spotted wearing the jewels in public. The government sued him. So here's the question historians still argue about today. Did he plant it? Did this serial liar salt his own dig, or quietly gather bits and pieces over months and stage them as one glorious discovery? We genuinely don't know for sure. What we do know is that the dating was a fantasy, the discovery story was invented, and a professional liar knew exactly what the words Priam's gold would do to a newspaper. And yet, here's the twist that makes this properly annoying. He wasn't entirely wrong. Troy is real. That hill really is the site of Troy. Calvert was right. And most historians today accept that a Trojan War, or something close to it, probably did take place around 1180 BC. The mad liar who bulldozed the evidence had, underneath all the nonsense, actually stumbled onto the truth. He just couldn't tell it straight if his life depended on it. One last thing, because this story refuses to end quietly. That treasure, the wrong gold, from the wrong king, found by the wrong man, ended up in Berlin. In the Second World War, it was hidden in a bunker under the Berlin Zoo. Then, the Red Army took it. The Soviet Union denied having it for 50 years. And today, it sits in a museum in Moscow, which flatly refuses to give it back. So, the jewels of a king who never wore them, from a war we're still arguing about, dug up by a man who lied about everything, and now held hostage by a country that won't return them. And in a few days, millions of people will watch a beautiful film about that myth, and never know that the gold of Troy is a crime scene. I'll see you in the next one.